Ian Rapoport explains why Shedeur Sanders isn't Browns' backup ahead of Week 5 clash with Vikings. The Cleveland Browns made headlines in Week 5 not only for their quarterback shuffle but also for the absence of rookie passer Shedeur Sanders from a more prominent role. Despite being one of the most talked-about young names entering the league, Sanders remains the third-string quarterback on Kevin Stefanski's depth chart. NFL insider Ian Rapoport shed light on the reasoning behind that decision, and his explanation has fueled conversations across the league. Rapoport's explanation: protecting Shedeur Sanders. According to Rapoport, the Browns' decision not to elevate Shedeur to the backup role was intentional. Rather than rushing him into action in an offense that doesn't necessarily suit his skill set, the team is exercising patience. Rapoport explained that the organization sees Sanders as a long-term project and believes he will thrive only when given the right circumstances. Forcing him into a scheme built around other quarterbacks, he argued, could hinder his development. The Browns want Shedeur to succeed when he does get on the field, Rapoport said. They don't want to throw him into an offense that isn't tailored to his strengths. They're playing the long game with him. This perspective suggests the Browns are balancing immediate team needs with the future potential of a young quarterback whose name already carries weight thanks to his father, Deion coach Prime Sanders. The Browns' quarterback carousel. The quarterback position has been a revolving door for Cleveland early in the season. Veteran Joe Flacco began the year as the starter, but after guiding the team to a 1-3 record, Stefanski and his staff sought alternatives. In Week 5, the Browns turned to Dillon Gabriel, their third-round pick, as the new QB1 against the Minnesota Vikings. The decision sparked immediate discussion, not only about Gabriel's readiness but also about why Sanders wasn't given the chance to move up. This isn't the first time Cleveland has been criticized for its quarterback decisions. The franchise has struggled for decades to find long-term stability at the position, cycling through veterans, draft picks, and emergency starters. With Sanders sitting in the wings, many fans wondered if Week 5 might be the perfect time to give him a shot. Shedeur Sanders' viral interview. Following the announcement that Gabriel would take over as the starter, Shedeur Sanders was asked to share his thoughts. Instead of offering a straightforward answer, he delivered what became one of the most talked-about moments of the week, a mime-like, wordless interview that quickly went viral. The unusual display drew mixed reactions. Some saw it as a creative, defiant statement from a rookie unwilling to play into media narratives. Others criticized the move as immature, especially given his limited role with the team. The backlash was swift. Analysts and fans debated what Sanders was trying to prove, and whether such antics would help or hurt his standing with both the Browns and the broader NFL community. Adam Schefter provides context. NFL insider Adam Schefter later attempted to clarify the meaning behind Sanders' behavior. According to Schefter, the mime interview was a response to comments made by former head coach and analyst Rex Ryan. Ryan had previously criticized Sanders for running his mouth and suggested he needed to focus more on football than on self-promotion. The silent interview, then, was allegedly Sanders' way of flipping the narrative, showing he could, quite literally, say nothing at all. Still, even with this explanation, the stunt did little to silence critics. For a young quarterback still trying to establish himself in the league, perception matters as much as performance, and Sanders' actions highlighted the scrutiny that comes with carrying both a famous name and high expectations. The draft debate resurfaces. Shedeur Sanders' path to the NFL draft was one of the most polarizing storylines of the offseason. Many analysts believed he had first-round potential, but doubts about his transition from Colorado to the pros, as well as concerns over mechanics and decision-making, pushed him down the board. The Tennessee Titans, in particular, became a focal point of that debate. With the first overall pick, they selected Cam Ward, another highly touted quarterback prospect. Ward was immediately handed the reins as Tennessee's starter. However, for weeks into the season, the Titans remained winless at 0-4, raising questions about whether they made the right choice. On Saturday, Fox Sports analyst Skip Bayless revisited the conversation. Bayless argued that the Titans should have selected Shedeur Sanders instead of Ward, claiming the decision to pass on Coach Prime's son may haunt Tennessee in the long run. The Titans missed badly, Bayless said. Shedeur Sanders should have been their pick. Cam Ward hasn't delivered, and Shedeur has the tools to be special. They let him slip, and now Cleveland has him. Sanders' draft slide and Cleveland's gamble. Shedeur's eventual draft position shocked many observers. Projected at 1 point to go in the top 32, he slid out of the first 4 rounds entirely. It wasn't until the Browns selected him with the 144th overall pick in the 5th round that his name was finally called. By that point, Cleveland had already invested in Dillon Gabriel, taking him in the 3rd round. The decision to draft 2 quarterbacks highlighted just how uncertain the team's plans were at the position, and it set up a quiet competition between Gabriel and Sanders for developmental representatives. The Browns front office has consistently said they view Sanders as a long-term project. His upside is intriguing, but the team wants to avoid throwing him into situations where he's unlikely to succeed. That philosophy, as Rapoport emphasized, explains why he remains the third option on the depth chart heading into Week 5. The road ahead for Shedeur Sanders. For now, Shedeur Sanders must play the waiting game. The Browns coaching staff seems committed to letting Gabriel handle the bulk of the work as starter, while Sanders continues to learn the system and refine his skills. It's a scenario that could benefit Sanders in the long run. Many quarterbacks have thrived after sitting for extended periods, using the time to adjust to the speed of the NFL and to grow under the guidance of experienced coaches. Still, the pressure from fans and analysts will only intensify, especially if Gabriel struggles or if Cleveland's record worsens. Shedeur's name recognition, combined with his personality and confidence, ensures that every move he makes will be scrutinized. If and when he does take the field, expectations will be sky high, and the Browns will face questions about whether they waited too long or not long enough. Conclusion. Ian Rapoport's explanation offers clarity into the Browns' quarterback strategy, patience, protection, and long-term planning. By keeping Shedeur Sanders as the third-string quarterback, the team is signaling that they don't want to risk derailing his development in an offense not yet suited to him. At the same time, Sanders' viral interview, the lingering pre-draft debate, and Skip Bayless' renewed critique of the Titans all show how much attention the young quarterback continues to command. He may not be starting in Week 5, but he remains one of the most talked-about players in the league.